standing in the heart of Shockoe Bottom on the corner of 17th and Main, right in front of Arcadia. Today, we're going to talk to owner John Van Peppen about his experience when Spielberg's Lincoln came into town. Let's go inside and check out Arcadia. And now we're inside Arcadia, and we're talking to the owner, John. John, thanks for having us in your restaurant today.
Kelly, thanks for coming out. We're happy to have you all.
Well, tell us a little bit about how you got started and where you're from.
I originally grew up in New Jersey, but I've been in the restaurant business down here in Richmond for quite a while. I was actually in Shockoe Bottom in 1984. I graduated from the University of Virginia, and I started working at a place called Winston Churchill's, or the Fozzio's of Churchill's. They renamed it, just 2 doors down from here, back in the mid-'80s. After that, I left my own restaurant down in the Brandon Mill area, and then I went to the Museum of Fine Arts, and I was director of restaurant services and catering there for 7 years. I left there, and for the past 7 years, I did Fleming's Prime Steakhouse and Wine Bar in Stony Point Fashion Park. And that was a really great experience for me, a lot of corporate experience, if you will. Then I decided to go out on my own, and we got a hold of this space a year ago last August. So we're just coming up on 1 year anniversary.
Also tell me a little bit about your experience with going through this art and culture movement that has taken this wave in Richmond, Virginia. Most people that are from here think this is typical, but this food scene is not, right?
Yeah, we're seeing a huge resurgence here, and you know, I'm excited to be a part of it. You know, we're contemporary American cuisine. Our chef is Matthew Talusti, who is formerly of Lamani Fish Grill, and he's just doing a great job. So he has the seafood component, and I have the steak component. And we're just glad to be a part of the wave, and what we're seeing down in the Shockoe Bottom area with all the new housing being built, a lot of the restaurants coming down. Just in the year that I've been here, the changes I see, the sheer volume of people coming down here. I know that the market's going to be rebuilt here shortly. They're talking about that, and it's just great to be a part of it.
Now, we're going to taste some of your signature dishes, your signature drinks.
We are.
Tell me a little bit about what's on your menu.
A lot of our menu is focused, as I was saying, it's classic American cuisine, but with more contemporary. We focus on steak. Braveheart beef is our steak that we're serving. It's Midwest, farm-raised, grass-fed, corn-finished. It's a very small boutique steak. We feel it's better than prime beef. I served a lot of prime beef in my past, and this is just an outstanding cut of meat. Our seafood is in fresh local every day. We're doing a really great, you're gonna try a great John Dory fish today, which we're excited about. Just a lot of small plates as well, and just very exciting new cutting edge kind of things we're doing.
I'm excited. So let's start off with the bar.
Okay,
let's talk
great.
to your bartender and get those signature drinks made.
We'll get Mark out here.
So Mark, what are we going to taste today?
Okay, Kelly, our first drink's going to be Arcadia Cosmo. We start off with a tin full of ice, half of a fresh lime. I like to hand squeeze it. You get all the juice out and get some of the pulp. From there, we got a vodka, some Cointreau. Then what we do, a little twist on it, got some mango puree.
Now, Mark, how long have you been bartending?
Oh, forever. I've been behind the bar for, I think it's somewhere around 24 years or something like that. You know, when you get into that long, you just lose count. You get a good big vigorous steak.
What meal would this drink particularly go with the best?
Oh, it's just a great way to start your dinner.
Okay, good.
It's a great way to start it off.
So this is definitely before everything else comes.
Yes. It's got a great color to it. If you look at it, there's going to be some nice ice flecks on the top, and also the lime pulp will be dancing up there too.
It's nice and refreshing too. And you definitely taste the ice chips in it, and it gives you a little kick too. All right. Very good. Now what's this called again?
That is the Arcadia Cosmopolitan.
Okay, all right. So what's next?
The next is going to be our hot buttered cider. It's delicious, very rich. It's going to take me a second to do that. Okay, Kelly, this is our hot buttered cider. And that is a compound butter that we make. And then what I do is I steam up the apple cider with the butter, melt it all in there, top it off with some whipped cream and that cinnamon stick. on a nice fall, winter's evening.
I was just about to say, this is the perfect fall
Yeah.
drink. I mean, it is amazing. Not too sweet. You know, you definitely taste and smell the apple first.
Yep.
Very, very good. All right, John, we have some amazing looking appetizers in front of us. What do we have?
What you have is our charred scallops. They're huge diver scallops, and they're on a little potato pancake with a little bit of tomato onion relish on top. What I have is our goat cheese crostini. It has a nice poached egg on top. It has wild mushrooms and onions underneath it there. A little goat cheese on a crostini. This particular item is on our small plates category on our menu. We just consider small plates maybe not quite that heavy entree, just something nice you can get maybe a little bit later at night or start with. And yours is on what we call our starter or appetizer items on the menu.
Now, while we're trying these, tell me why the name Arcadia and where did it come from?
A couple things. Arcadia in Roman mythology was the land of plenty for man. Wine, food, and it was almost heaven on earth, if you will. So we really thought that would be an appropriate name for the restaurant. But also personally for me, Arcadia National Park in Maine, my father used to take myself and my brother camping there all the time. And Arcadia always had a special place on my heart. So I knew that one day that I could finally get a restaurant, I would name it Arcadia.
John, everything tastes very fresh. Do you do any
you.
local?
We do. One of the great aspects of being here in Chaco Bottom and on the farmers market is we have our produce vendors right out front. So Chef and I can go out there daily. We can look at what's fresh, we can look at what's great on the market, and we can buy. And one of the great things we've been doing this past summer is Hanover tomatoes, and we've been utilizing them all the way almost just until recently. My wife makes this amazing Hanover tomato cheese pie. It's got 3 different cheeses in it. It's zucchini, yellow squash, and fresh Hanover tomatoes. We get all that right there on the market. She makes it with a buttermilk crust, and we're getting known for that now. And a lot of the festivals that come down here on the weekends, there's the beer festivals. There was an Oktoberfest festival. And we've been taking advantage of that, and that's just been a lot of fun, bringing the local ingredients to the local festivals.
It's so important. You can taste the freshness.
Yeah. Thank you.
Really good.
Thank you.
All right.
This is our petite filet, and we've got our potato pave with that, and our rosemary sugar snap peas.
All right, now, we know that this very, very small filmmaker came into town and shot a movie here. Talk about the experience that you had, and particularly the reason we're sitting in this seat right here.
Well, we chose this seat. It was my 4th day open. It was lunch, and Daniel Day-Lewis, I guess, came strolling down the sidewalk, and he had a ski cap on, but he was in the Lincoln garb, the Lincoln character, if you will. And sat right where you're sitting, looked out the window, was reading the book, and a couple of the girls that work here mentioned to me, I think that's Daniel Day-Lewis. And so I went over, and he had the hat off, went over to chat with him, and how is everything? And he was actually having exactly what you're having, petite filet.
Good.
And he mentioned how lovely it was, and right away with his accent and talking about the filming, I knew that of course it was Daniel Day-Lewis, but he was in the Lincoln garb, as you can see from the picture. There was a gentleman, as we were chatting, sitting just off to your right, and with his smartphone he captured the picture. Well, that was the first picture ever taken of Dan Day-Lewis in the Lincoln garb, and so that photo went viral.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, I got 4,000 hits on my website that day.
Wow.
It hit the New York Post, which is where this is from. I have relatives over in Holland and Europe. They were calling me that day. Publications, TMZ was on. We were in People magazine. It was an amazing thing for it to happen to us for our 4th day open.
Did no one notice? Did he not want a private space like
No.
you have upstairs?
Yeah, no, not at all. And that was the thing. I guess I didn't even know it was him. But I went back to the table and I mentioned to him that we do have a private room upstairs, and he was very disarming, if you will. He said, first of all, John called me John. I'm Daniel, and one first names, and we started talking about the private room. We have a separate entrance. We seat about 40 people up there, and we're doing a lot of rehearsal dinners now. We're doing weddings, corporate functions, pharmaceutical things, and it's gorgeous because there are floor-to-ceiling windows. It overlooks the cityscape, and people just seem to love it. We have the valet parking every night, so it's very convenient. and it works out quite well for groups.
Well, John, I've had dinner. I feel like it's now time for dessert. I still have my signature
There
drink
you go.
with me, so let's bring on the dessert next.
You got it.
All right. This dessert is so tempting. I kind of want to eat while you tell me what this is, so go ahead and start.
What you have is our fresh pear tart. It has some raspberries on it, and then Gelati Celeste ice cream. It's a salty caramel ice cream in the middle. And of course, you can see our little Arcadia logo that is our signature. We put on all of our desserts. You have a little bit of a beet powder on there. And then I have our flourless chocolate torte. So it's great for gluten-free folks. And then I have chocolate decadence Gelati Celeste ice cream with mine, and our cocoa powder signature dessert right here. So, what do you think?
Oh my God. I don't know what I like best. I don't know if I like the fresh fruit. I don't know if I like the crispy pastry or the ice cream. I mean, the ice cream alone, I could probably eat that by itself.
A lot of folks just come in and get that as well.
It is really, really good. And I continuously get amazed by the fact that Richmond has so many food options, and it's getting national exposure. Talk about...
There's a lot going on, and we were very fortunate. We've gotten some great reviews locally, but also Urban Spoon just came out. They did a comprehensive list of, I think it was several 100,000 restaurants and upscale restaurants, and they put a list together of the 250 best restaurants in the nation, and we're on that list.
Yeah.
And that was just phenomenal for us. Folks staying at the local hotels now, they're sending them all down to us, and we've become a dining destination, if you will, for the guests, the tourists that are in town. So it's a lot of fun.
Well, John, the food is amazing.
Thank you.
People need to come experience it.
Thank
Thank you for having us today. Before we end with you, can you tell us where you're located, hours of operation, everything that people need to know to get in contact with you?
Sure. We're at 1700 East Main Street, right at the corner of 17th and Main on the Farmers Market. We're open for lunch daily, Tuesday through Friday, from 11 until 2. We do dinner starting at 5 o'clock, also Tuesday through Saturday, and we close at 10 on Friday and Saturday night. We do Sunday brunch, 11 to 3 every Sunday. So Monday's really the only day that we do not have operations here. And you can reach us on our website, arcadiarichmond.com. You can see photos of the restaurant. We're also on Facebook. And our phone number is 804-417-4005.
Well, I thank you for taking the time once again to talk to us about your amazing restaurant.
Kelly, thanks for coming out. We really appreciate it.
No problem. Kelli Lemon, RVA Grooves, all things arts and culture.